We're here with Tiffany Shlain, director of the movie Connected, which is premiering at the 2011 Sundance Film Festival. On behalf of the Women's Media Center, thank you for talking with myself and my fellow young journalists.
I'm happy to talk to you.
Your film, Connected, started out as a commentary about human interdependence as a whole and shifted focus to a much more personal story. Was there a particular moment in your life when the project shifted focus?
Yes, I remember it was like days before my birthday, and I went to meet with the crew, and I said, well, what if we just start the movie saying, I'm almost 40, my father's dying, and I'm pregnant, or something crazy. Like, it was so absurd. I was under so much pressure, and it just felt like, how could I be making a film about connectedness and not be looking at my own connectedness? And we all of our experiences start with ourselves, and we connect to our families, to the community, and the world. And it's almost like the film pulled me in, and then started a very kind of intense but wonderful process with the writing team on how to weave the two stories, which was the big idea film about connectedness in the 21st century, and then connectedness in my own life. So it was a really interesting process. I've never been in one of my films, and I've never done a personal project like that.
Fear is a powerful human instinct. Fear of death, fear of the unknown, and in your case, fear of losing your father. How might we as a society use the power of fear to improve the world around us?
I think, it's one of the most primal things. I mean, as a species, fight or flight. So I think that fear in this case really took me on a real creative journey. So I think the way that if people are worried about the world, if they have fear about where we're headed, hopefully the film will inspire them to take a moment to stop and think about it. We're really hoping that this film, we made a discussion kit for it, that the film really triggers a global conversation about what does it mean to be connected in the 21st century? What does it mean to you personally? What does it mean that issues are connected? I think one of the things is that really first inspired the idea portion of the film is everyone was talking about the environment, but they weren't talking about it in relation to population issues, which of course are related to women's rights issues, which are related to our girls educated in countries all over the world. So the interdependence of issues is so important. So if we can stop and think about, if we're worried enough about the future, we can talk about it. I mean, I have great hope for the human species that we are continuing to evolve. And if we can use these stories, which that's what they really are. They're stories told at Sundance here, different ways, through animation, through traditional documentaries or narratives, to trigger some thought process that makes you go further in your thinking.
This film has a very distinct visual style. What gave you the inspiration for these visual effects?
Well, I had a brilliant animation director named Stefan Nadelman, who I met at Sundance when I had my first film here in 2003. And we collaborated on a little smaller film, and it was really exciting to work with him on this. And I worked with a great editor, Dallin McNabola, and it was a very collaborative process. So I think, we hardly shoot anything originally. So for us, everything is in finding images or having these animations created. So, I see a lot of documentaries that are using verite style from the world around us. But I just feel like there's so many exciting images that have already been created in the world, and now with the web, you have access to them so easily. So it's really exciting to find the perfect image to express that idea. So we figured it was 65% of the film is archival images and stock images, and then about 30% original animations, and there's only 5% that we shot.
So we're here to draw attention to women in the media. As a woman in a very male-dominated field and who was also a mother and pregnant at the time, how did these factors affect your process?
I never feel like I'm in I know that, there just was an article, only, I guess, 25% of the films here are directed by women. But I have to say, I had two feminist parents, both my mother and father. I never think twice about being a woman. I feel like that was the fortune of my upbringing, that I don't think about it, but I'm just blazing my own trail, and I know a lot of great women directors. I have a lot of women mentors. Most of my funders were women, powerful, kick-ass women. So I just feel like I actually have to tell you, and I think that's a good thing that I don't think twice about it.
What advice would you give to women who want to go into the field?
Do it. Just do it.